Hi, my name is Adeline and I'm a co-founder of Saturday Kids and Fab Cafe Singapore. I think any skill is a good skill to acquire. Programming is just one of them. It helps when kids are introduced to it at a younger age because the way that children learn language is actually quite different from the way adults learn language. That's one. The second thing is I think kids are just a lot less afraid to try things out. So when you throw a child and an adult into the same class, you might find that, at the end of the day, the child actually learns a lot faster because the child is able to push things and want to test things a lot more. The third thing is, why is it an interesting skill? I just think it's like having another set of arms. Being able to speak another language. And when you're able to extend your capabilities beyond just pen and paper, you'll be able to create a lot more. To be frank, I think everyone thinks that they know what a school is because everyone went to a school. But everyone's feelings and expectations of a school is quite different. And I think Saturday Kids wants to be at the forefront of what is possible for kids to imagine their role to be like in life through a school. I know it sounds pretty lofty, but I think it's the first place where kids can actually interact with digital and tech tools to be able to create things. And right now we say that Saturday Kids learn to code and we code to learn. But at the end of the day, it's about kids being able to have fun, being able to realize what they're able to do with the tools that they just learned, and through that being able to be closer to the world as other people know it and see how the world is being made up of these little things that other people have invented. Take for example, in an electronics class, we usually learn what a 7-segment is, we learn what an LED is, we learn what electricity is, and then we learn what a 7-segment is and how it's actually programmed to display a certain set of numbers. We learn how it actually counts things. And when you tell kids, this is something that you can actually see in everyday life. Like, say, if you go to a doctor's and you wait for your number, the display that shows you what number you are, that's a 7-segment. Or if you go drive through like an ERP, that's like an electronic gantry that deducts money from your car. And if you tell kids that's actually made out of a 7-segment, they totally understand how it's being made. And so they start to deconstruct the world from the way they understand it to be. And I think that's even more empowering than telling them the ABCs of things. So I think I've been playing around with this idea in my mind. Is a school really necessary for people in, say, the late 21st century or the 22nd century? We live in 2017 at the time. We live in 2017, full stop. So yeah, we live in 2017 and I think we've been seeing a couple of models for schools. Just this morning I read an article of, alt school raising another 40 million for its distributed school system in the US. And that's like a step forward for schools trying to make a difference. On the other side of the story, we have Green School in Bali, for example, trying to teach children, even high schoolers, how to create sustainable models and trying to live a sustainable life. What do I think schools in the future can look like? I would love to be part of that, but I don't think that's for me to answer because I think there'll be needs that are more keenly felt by the children of the future. We live in exciting times where knowledge is so decentralized and so accessible through the power of the internet. I think where this goes in terms of learning experiences, I have very strong optimism about what's possible. And I think we used to think about schools as this building where you go to learn behind, from a teacher who's standing in front. I think people think you need to go to school because, there's someone who holds the knowledge who is smarter than you. People also go to school to make friends. And I think that's a huge part of being in a school that cannot be taken away. Where I think the schools of the future can be a little bit different, I think Children nowadays, they see that the things being taught in the classroom is not relevant to their lives. Even more so today than even back in my time. And I think this will continue to be so going forward. I like to think of the idea of prosthetic knowledge, where people can actually access information through artificial means, like from the internet. A lot of the things that are being taught to us in school are actually things that have been discovered by people before that. But, science, technology, facts, they're always changing depending on when inventions are made, discoveries are made. So I think the schools of the future don't necessarily need to teach kids facts or get them to memorize things, but rather teach them methods of thinking, especially thinking critically and assessing and analyzing information. And technology is just a small part of that. It's a tool to help us enhance the way we process that information or log that information or communicate the information.